and it's killing me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steve Patterson Projecttt episode 5. I'd like to start by apologizing for the lighting on these shows. I realize I'm a little overexposed, or as we call it here in Canada, the Drake setting. And there they are, a very special welcome to our virtual audience this week. Some joining us again, some for the first time. We hope no one for the last time. Thank you again for taking your masks off long enough to let me see you not laughing. Here we go. Not to be outdone by last week's huge World Together at Home concert, this past Saturday, or past Sunday, depending on which day you watched it, Canada broadcasted the Stronger Together benefit show for frontline workers and Food Banks Canada. The show featured musical performances by some of Canada's biggest stars, many of whom were appearing from their homes outside of Canada to really show how proudly Canadian they are. There were a lot of great performances, but for me, the most honest was by Tom Cochrane, who performed a small amount of his hit song, Life is a Highway, but when he got to the chorus, abruptly stopped, realizing that nothing is open right now, so there's not much use going on a highway. Unless you're a truck driver delivering much needed supplies, in which case, by all means, please drive it all night long. The event also featured the Patterson family. There they are. They are acrobatic gymnasts from Cirque du Soleil, and they aren't musicians at all. So their inclusion in the show was a bit of a stretch. A groan is like a laugh to me. That doesn't scare me. The province of Quebec set out their lockdown lifting plans this week, with May 11th as the date that elementary schools and daycares will reopen. You might have noticed it didn't say anything about Quebecers going back to work, just young kids getting out of the house. The reason is simple. French people are very, very horny. There they are. That's a Tuesday in Quebec. Speaking of black, white, and horny, with the Hong Kong Zoo closed due to COVID-19, 2 pandas in there mated for the first time in a decade. According to panda researcher Jim Harkness, pandas have trouble breeding in captivity. Yeah, Jim. Ying Ying and Li Li were waiting for the crowds to disappear so just you could watch them, you panda pervert. Hong Kong zookeepers were excited about the possibility of a new baby panda until they realized that they're the ones who will have to homeschool it. Second groan if we're keeping score at home, and I don't mind it. Still in international news, North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un may be dead, or he may still be alive. So same as all of us right now, I guess. All right, back to Canada, where Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced his plan to reopen the province on Monday. It'll be done in 3 stages with no timelines currently provided or any details of what will happen in each stage. So basically, the same as my plan to quit drinking during quarantine. Premier Ford also referred to the anti-shutdown protesters at Queen's Park as a bunch of yahoos, an insult so old I had to Google it. And according to Google, a Yahoo is a shitty older version of Google. So next I went to Yahoo and it told me to ask Jeeves. Canada's House of Commons reconvened this week for a virtual meeting on the video conferencing platform Zoom. Security experts say that using Zoom for parliamentary sittings could be a privacy disaster. But since the meeting was public anyways, the only thing that hackers could steal is the secret behind this move. Oh, yeah. You sweep that hair, Justin. You sweep it. The secret, by the way, if you're wondering, is to win over conservative aunts and more than a few conservative uncles. All right, let's cool things down a bit. An ozone hole that formed over the Arctic this spring and eventually grew into the largest ever recorded there has now closed. So this is a reminder to all of us, shop at your local ozone hole if you want it to stay open. And speaking of gaping holes, Waffle House restaurants have now opened up. for dine-in service. True story. They've opened up for dine-in service in several states, proving once and for all that you can take Americans' waffles when you can pry them from their cold, dead hands. So, probably by later this week. And finally, new research from the University of British Columbia shows for the first time that soil silicates, the most abundant material on the Earth's crust, plays a key role in blood clotting, which means soil in wounds can help stop bleeding to death. So, if you're bleeding to death right now, first, I admire your dedication for still watching this show. And second, you don't have to go to the hospital now. Just roll around in the dirt and you probably won't die. But if you do, you're already sort of buried. So it's a win-win. And that is our monologue for this week. Thank you again to our best virtual audience we've ever had. Thank you for not being here. Please watch the episode. Bye.
Bye.